Hey everyone, it's Angela Stevens.
And LeAnn Rashke.
And Michele LeAnn with Hatch Homes Group. So today we are focusing some information out there.
Hey everyone, it's Angela Stevens.
LeAnn Rashke.
And Michele LeAnn with Hatch Homes Group. And today we are focusing on information for you home buyers out there. Now, we don't want to downplay the issues surrounding the current pandemic, but if you're still interested in buying a home and you're wondering if you should wait or not, we wanted to share some insight with you that may help. Please watch all the way through to the end because there's some really good nuggets down in the last few minutes of the video. We really appreciate it. And now more than ever, it's really important to have real data because it counts. And we're super fortunate to be part of a market center and office that masterminds the data coming out on a daily basis. So we wanted to share that with you.
Yes, and that's super important. And I always bring this up that I got started into real estate during the last Great Recession, during the housing crisis and in 07, 08. And I didn't pay any attention to market stats. I was just going with what was happening. And that was a mistake. It's really, really important to pay attention to the data, and we bring it into our business every day now. And if you're a realtor out there, you need to be paying attention. And right now we're paying attention daily. We are tracking this market daily. So, our team is clearly very passionate about this. So at the end of the video, there will be a few ways to reach out to us for any additional questions that you have. So our primary objective is to go over what our buyers are kind of voicing concerns about. Like a lot of people are not as, some buyers are not as motivated to buy unless they have to buy right now because they think prices will go down, like, oh, the last recession prices went down, well, we'll show you in a minute, 19% at most. And so they're thinking, oh, this is my opportunity. So let's dive deep there. There's a few indicators that we're really going to focus on. So just really quick, the last recession, people have PTSD about what happened then. It was major. It was a housing crisis. We're in a completely different place, and people have to understand that. So we have slides from the last price change that shows you, it was a perfect storm. So it was a perfect storm. We had, out of some of the past recessions, prices actually still went up. But the last one, clearly they did not. There was subprime mortgages happening, people overspending their budget. It was really easy to get a mortgage. I bought my first house in 2006. I can attest it was way easier than it was last year when I bought again. So you have that. You have sellers doing cash out refinances and not putting the money back into their homes. The amount of money people were borrowing against their homes exceeded the amount of equity they had. So that's huge. So we have another slide that kind of breaks down the equity. So back when people were refinancing, the market went up. They're like, great, look at all this equity. I'm just going to take it all out. So we had let's see, total $824 billion cashed out. Whereas now, so much more restrictions. People are a lot more conscious about that. 232 billion. Huge difference right there. Yeah. People have equity in their homes now. They're not going to just let that go, right? So we have 37% of all homes are owned free and clear. 26.7% of the mortgaged homes have at least 50% equity. So back during the last recession, if you didn't have equity in your home, if you were fully maxed out, there's really no benefit to really try to hold on to it. They just let it go back to the bank, just short sale it. So that short sale, that foreclosure affected your neighbor. So you sell your home for less through a short sale, then the neighbor is going to sell their house. And it was just a ripple effect, right? It was detrimental to home pricing. So right now, I know I'm not, most people are not going to let go of that 50% equity. Most of those people, that's a huge investment that they're not going to just let go of easily. So we're still seeing that in the market, sellers holding strong on their price. We're not seeing any indicators yet, except in a few different markets where prices are going to be hugely affected.
Yeah, and really our goal here is to provide facts over fear And, due to regulations this time around, people have to qualify to stay within their budgets, and lenders are taking it very seriously, especially during the crisis. So back during the last recession, the government took a long time to roll out their corrections, and this time they acted almost immediately. And they did that by, providing the stimulus package, which was put together super quickly, as opposed to last time. Banks are really more interested in helping you get to forbearance rather than foreclosing on your property. And, there's also mediation that you can have with your lender before going underwater. And that kind of support just wasn't there during the last crash. Mm-hmm. And I've got a couple more slides just to sort of show you. Let me get to my screen. Mm-hmm. So this is just sort of the economic and market predictions that we're getting from economists, local economists and nationwide economists. And one graph is showing on the left-hand side the sort of V-shaped economy that they're talking about for the recovery. And that it's just gonna, there's gonna be a point where, we're gonna have, everybody's gonna get to go back to work, and we're just gonna have this upward spike. And then more recently, the Oregon Office of Economic Analysis put out the square root recovery, and they sort of show a spike happening at first, and then it's a slow incline. So the next slide that I have shows this in comparison to the last two. Well, not the last two, but the Great Depression and then the Great Recession. So it took about 9 years for us to recover from the Great Recession, and it took 12 years from the Great Depression, and they're still just predicting about 2 years to recover from this one.
I think that's huge. It's important to remember. I think another point, as opposed to the last recession, is home builders were grossly overbuilding back then, and today they're very much underproducing, which is contributing to the low inventory. Just for example, and this is nationwide, to catch up with the demand, we would need to build 2.5 million homes. And that's, probably not going to happen. And that's far beyond Oregon, by the way. But Oregon does rank #1 in housing shortage. And I'm sure we've all felt that. But going into this next season, it will be a high demand situation because of that inventory. And economists are predicting that the interest rates will still remain low, and that's going to maintain the high demand as well. So just as a reminder, a balanced market, we use months of inventory. And right now we're at 1.8. A healthy balanced market is 4 to 5 months. And in 08-09, we had 12 to 13 months of inventory. So you can see we're quite at the opposite end of the spectrum. We're still in a seller's market, not a buyer's market. And in this last week that we've been talking about earlier today and every day, we track this weekly. In the last 7 days, buyers are outpacing the sellers. So there's been 485 new listings in the last week versus 593 pending sales. So that means buyers got into contract.
Wow.
And so that's quite a bit more. I mean, as you can say, you would say that's 22% of buyers outpacing the sellers. So that's going to just keep that demand high.
Absolutely. And, we've been talking about this for the past few weeks with a lot of our clients. And, there's still that well, I get it. It's not the same, but we have a global pandemic and we have really, really crazy unemployment rates. Totally understand that. We're very sensitive to that. We are in a restaurant city, and I'm pretty sure that everyone has had someone that's out of work right now. I know that we have, and it's, we're not trying to underplay that. It's a big deal. However, there's a lot of people that still have their jobs. And if you look at, we have a graph that we'll pull up soon about there's not as a direct correlation between the unemployment rate and home sales as you would think. So, we have, let's see, so the unemployment rate rising between 1992 and 1993, yet home sales increased. Then let's go to the home employment rate rising between 2007 and 2010, yet home sales significantly decreased. So, it keeps going with those stats. And and you'll see that it just doesn't have as a direct of impact on home sales as you would think.
Yeah. Yeah, people still need to buy and sell, right? Even
Always.
with some problems happening. I think the bottom line, though, is that there's still a lot of unknown factors, and we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly what will happen, but we're really feeling like this is still a winter market. Like we're still in the holiday season, so to speak, where we normally see the market fluctuate up and down throughout the year. And springtime is when we're supposed to be going into a very hot market with more homes coming on the market and buyers, that seeing that months of inventory kind of tick up a little bit. Well, we're not seeing that right now because it's on pause. And so what we're thinking is that's probably going to cause a very pent up demand. So, maybe June, July, August, we're going to see a huge uptick in sellers and buyers. And, we're already seeing searches beginning to climb on our website, on, other websites like Zillow and Realtor.com. So there will be increased competition and multiple offer situations continuing. And so if you're thinking about waiting until, to see what happens right now, please keep in mind that you're also going to be having pretty steep competition when things get back to somewhat normal. And of course, we are here to help you through that and navigate and strategize the best way forward for you.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a prolonged holiday season, like just in the sense of what we see during that time. And we're just kind of waiting for that spring season to happen and to pop, as it will. And so if you're able to buy, you want to buy, or if you, like are thinking about, like you think, oh, I'm just going to wait because prices are going to drop dramatically. We're just not seeing evidence of that. And hopefully this video has shown you that we're just not seeing the evidence there. So while there isn't very much inventory out there, there are still many people who need to sell their homes. Interest rates will likely remain low, which really helps with affordability. We can continue to take health and safety precautions very seriously, and we've kind of all mastered our protocols for how to make that happen and to keep you safe so that you can still meet your home buying goals this year. It's still a possibility. If you have any questions, you want to move now, or you are just thinking maybe the next 6 to 9 months, message us, contact us. Our information is going to pop up on the screen. We're doing 30 and 60-minute strategy sessions over the next 2 weeks. So we are ready here for you. We have great strategies and are excited to help you. Yeah, so thank you so much. Hope this was helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Please share.
Take care. Be safe.